You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars and by Wellington Anti-Aging. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Here we go. Happy Friday.
Oh, thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, a weird week.
Very much so.
I'm so messed up. Because I went out Wednesday like it was Saturday. And then I came in here on Thursday, and it felt like it was Sunday. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like, I shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in Sunday mentality. I couldn't dial it in. I couldn't get it right. And then today feels like Monday, but it's freaking Friday.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. I just don't even know.
On Thursday, I kept saying what happened over the weekend. And I'm like, no, it wasn't the weekend.
No,
it was
I know.
Wednesday.
We can't do this anymore.
No.
I don't know who makes the rules around here, but I'm sorry. We got to rewrite history or something. I know it's always 4th of July, but it just can't be.
We should do like the Saturday after. That's when you celebrate. You know what I mean?
I always like those kind of things, yeah.
It's great.
I always like
It
that.
falls on like the third Saturday in July.
Yeah.
Perfect. Who
Next-
needs a day?
Well, the way it goes, though, right? Isn't this like next year the 4th of July will be on a Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not bad.
That's not
then
terrible.
no one is going to work
On Friday.
on July 5th next year.
No,
Nobody.
absolutely not.
I mean,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
would you? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, this whole the Tuesday and Wednesday are 2 days you can't have holidays on because
Yeah.
it's like, what do? You come to work for Monday and then you take off to. It's stupid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Wednesday thing was just completely asinine.
And it's almost like you can't do anything amazing this week because nobody's going to notice. You know, so it's like nothing big can
true.
happen. You can't that's why we had to do a mediocre show yesterday and we can't do anything great today because no one's going to notice. I mean, you can't do greatness
to a
on these
point.
kind of days. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Well, I almost wonder because you've got right now a big story that's percolating. And you got to kind of wonder, like, if there are things that are happening that they're not putting out right now because they're like, well, we want this to be a big splash.
Yeah.
Because, they also do this to the other effect. If there's a shameful story about somebody and, like, you've got a scandal and you know it's going to break eventually, you wait until the whole world is on vacation and then you put it out because nobody notices.
Exactly.
So kind of like the reverse is in effect. What really happened yesterday and today that we're not going to find out about until next week when everybody's back at
It's
it?
very true, and this is the reason why. Now, I'm assuming you're alluding to what I thought we were talking about just before the show.
Yes.
Okay, so now I had thought this, and I had mentioned it, I think it was on Monday, or was it yesterday even? See, the whole week has screwed me up.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing that I'm really struggling with. I suck at math.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And here I am 3 months into, doing the sports thing. And I was always kind of like, I've been a surface sports guy, not to the intricacies of sports journalism where you fully understand all the damn rhetoric about these NBA contracts and mid-level this and that level this and you're exempt that and a buyout. I'm like, what? It's just numbers. I don't know. So, when you look at some of these numbers and cap space and this and that, and there's even different tiers and levels and bird rules and all this, I'm like, what the hell is
it's
this,
a lot.
man?
It's a lot of rigmarole.
Yeah, and so I find it very confusing. It's like, okay, you know what? Why don't you just tell me when someone goes to another team?
Yeah, exactly.
Like trying to figure out who's got cap space, this and that. I don't know. And so the Carmelo deal is something that's confusing to me, and how you dump this money. And when you look at even the Miami Heat situation, okay, they don't have cap space, but they do have cap space, and you got to pay a penalty. But then here's a tier of the first cap you can go over, but you can't go over this cap at all because that's 1.5 something. Like going, stop with the math, man.
Yeah.
Stop with the math. So now Carmelo Anthony, they're talking about a deal where Oklahoma City, and you talk about this too, where you can take a salary dump.
Yes.
Explain what's going on here, because as I read this, they talk about Carmelo Anthony. Maybe they're going to be working a trade now with Oklahoma City, which, yes, you did say on Monday you could see this happening, creating up space of, what, $100 million I just saw on the headline for Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't understand any of this.
I don't get any of this.
The
The salary dump won't necessarily be it will be for Oklahoma City, but the salary dump really consists of the team that he's traded to. So let's say it's like Philadelphia 76ers. They trade this $28 million this year going to him to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now they either over the cap or they have just a little bit. Then what they do is they dump him. Now they just dump $28 million off of their salary for
But
this
you have
year.
to have the cap space to take him on in the first place?
You could pay a luxury tax on it. That's fine. So literally anybody can take him on and just dump off the space.
Because
That's what a lot of teams do.
I'd even seen somebody trying to come up with, okay, maybe the Miami Heat will wind up picking up Carmelo Anthony. But from what I understand, right now the Heat are pretty much there because they're at $120 million committed to 11 players, and the cap is basically 102. So this is something where there's no
and
way.
that's if they keep him.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And the deal with Melo is that reports are saying, this is Adrian Wojnarowski is saying that he either wants to be let go and pick his destination or be traded, and then that team let him go so he can pick his destination. He wants to pick where he's going.
So who the hell pays Carmelo then? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Who gives him money on his contract?
It would be the team who picked him up.
Who picks him up?
Yes.
Okay.
So you'd have to figure out how that would work out for them. So they would pay this, but as soon as they dump him, I don't think he would get the full 28. I think he'd get partial.
Yeah.
But he'd get picked up in an instant. I mean, as soon as he becomes a free agent, he's a very viable free agent. And I know he's been made fun of a lot by his performance from this past year, and he really hasn't done that great in the last couple of years of the Knicks as well.
Is it him?
But
Because
he is a piece.
I also read an article in defense of Carmelo Anthony saying, yeah, maybe his shooting has declined a little bit. Skills have declined. He's always been a player that really hasn't, even when he was younger, wasn't really big into the physical fitness and the staying in shape.
Yeah.
Kind of on the same levels of what LeBron is.
He has natural abilities.
Yes, exactly. And that he just, in a sense, was in a bad pairing that wasn't showcasing his abilities in Oklahoma City. And so...
Oh, yeah, because you have the overshadowing of two other big players.
Right.
That's
So
why.
it wasn't necessarily that Carmelo Anthony just lost his ability to play basketball last year or declined that greatly. He just wasn't in a great situation. So in a different situation, it could be promising. So in the right situation, Carmelo Anthony really, truly could help out a team this next year.
Oh, he 100% could help out a team.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why there's two teams that I think he's going to go to. It's either going to be the Lakers or it's going to be Houston. Now, there's a common thing that happens at both of them. He gets to play with two people that distributed him the ball in Olympic basketball. And in Olympic basketball, he was out of control awesome because he was the step and shooter. That's all he was. He'd get the ball, pop, shoot, done.
Yeah.
I think he had like 16 threes in one game or some garbage like that.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
He'd be great at pop-a-shot, basically.
Of course. So if he goes to L.A., he plays with LeBron, who is his teammate. Now, LeBron also will probably do something really good for him, probably get him in really good shape. Because you're going to want to work out with LeBron.
Yeah.
So he goes with LeBron. He winds up being that type of player for him. But the one thing that has to be the biggest thing with Carmelo is that he's never accepted the role player situation, and he needs to finally do that. He's gotten to his career where he's still really, really good, but he needs to understand that he is now a role player. He's not a centerpiece. So in New York, he was a centerpiece for a long time.
Yeah.
And then he turned Amari Stoudemire into his role player. So here he has to become the role player again. If he can do that with Chris Paul in Houston, that trio of Chris Paul, James Harden, and Melo will be out of control. And then if he goes to LA, him and LeBron plus whoever they pick to put for the third.
He's needed more in LA, right? Because, I mean,
I think so, yeah.
What I hear about the Lakers and their issue is they need shooters. They need some additional shooters. They don't have the shooting yet. They got to create space for LeBron.
Yeah.
And until they can really get those perimeter shooters that are a threat from behind three, then it's not going to create the space that LeBron needs. So Carmelo would be something that the Lakers should desperately go after and try to get.
Yeah, either way, he's going to end up in the West.
And he's great friends with Carmelo, too, right? He goes to his wedding, and, they're really tight.
That was the thing, like the Banana Boat crew.
Yeah.
When it was Dwayne Wade, CP3, LeBron, Melo, like that was like the whole entire thing. And that was envisioned to come to New York at one point in time when Melo was re-signing his deal. They had looked at it. They go, okay, well, look at the way this deal is structured. Look at the way he can be able to opt out at the right time to be able to bring in LeBron. So, I mean, he's going to team up with one of those. He's not going to come to the East. But this is so strange because now him getting out of that team, going on to L.A., so many different moves that have happened in such a short amount of time, everybody's talking about how lopsided the West is. There is something that can happen that can turn the entire NBA into complete juggernauts on both sides.
Okay.
And it's really cool because we were talking about this yesterday with Kyrie Irving moving to New York. If he does that,
yes.
you now have, if you bring Jimmy Butler over to New York, now you have Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler in New York. You have Gordon Hayward hitting up the Celtics. You have the Sixers. And then if Kawhi decides to go to the East, that's the biggest piece in this.
Right.
Now you look at all those teams in the East, they're really good. And then all these teams in the West, they're really good. Now we're not complaining about super teams anymore because everybody's now figured it out.
3 big from the East, 3 big from the West.
And all of a sudden, everything works out.
Yeah.
And the super team is just the team. We're not talking about a super team anymore. We're talking about a team. And I think that's what LeBron was trying to do when he was doing all the shucking and jiving to be able to get to Miami in the first place.
Yeah.
He wasn't worried about creating a super team. He was worried about creating a team. And it just so happened to be full of great players.
Kawhi Leonard seems like he is a big crybaby.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is he getting to the point where he is starting to seriously damage his value? Because is he going to be the same kind of headache for another team in another place? And there was an interesting report just about how bad he's been to the Spurs, a team that is paying him like $18 million or whatever it is a
And
year.
it's been very good to him.
Exactly. Still employing him. This is from ESPN Spurs reporter Michael C. Wright talking about just kind of what a jerky move Kawhi Leonard pulled on the Spurs when they went to go see him in New York City when he was working out.
I mean, there was a point during his rehab process in New York that some of the Spurs brass went out to see him in New York. As soon as those guys arrived to the building, Kawhi's people grabbed him and sequestered him to another part of the building. So the Spurs people couldn't even see him.
So if he is such a head case, maybe they're even talking about how he doesn't want to go to the Lakers because LeBron's there and he doesn't want to be anything but the alpha dog, so the Clippers would be a better fit for him if he went to L.A. to his hometown. How could he ever work on any kind of team? And doesn't he kind of have that alpha dog thing right now in San Antonio, and he's not making that work? So where is this guy ever going to be happy? And our team's going to start saying, you know what, maybe he's just not worth the headache. Because Pop and the rest of the Spurs got to be going, they probably are going to be so happy and do backflips when they can finally load this guy and get some valuable pieces for him.
I think the situation with him is never going to be known until he goes to another team. Once he goes to another team, starts playing for another team, then you're going to start to really see if it's his fault. But I kind of think that something that I really haven't heard too much is maybe the reason is Popovich. And because Popovich has created this structure, this community inside the Spurs that have obviously winning. They're very good at that. But that was centered around Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. And now that Duncan's gone, he wants to continue the same legacy, playing the same way, doing the same things. And Kawhi Leonard's like, listen, dude, I'm next. So I think we should start tailoring it to the way that I play, and then that's how we win championships because I'm your guy.
Okay.
And maybe Pop was like, that's not the way this works. So he's like, buzz off, I'm out.
So you're defending Kawhi and saying maybe he has a reason for acting the way he is.
Nobody's brought that up, and but that's a definite possibility. You're talking about somebody that's so good like Greg Popovich, there he has to have some regiment to him, and that may be it. I mean, Kawhi Leonard is a kid, and he won a championship early. He won a Finals MVP. He was a monster, and now all of a sudden this guy just doesn't even. He's planning on sitting out the season.
Right.
Something has to be wrong there. It's not. I can't wrap my head around it just being his fault. That just doesn't seem right to me. And these guys taking him away so that the Spurs wouldn't see him? I mean, like, that seems really weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery that's going on here, and who's to blame.
Coming
up here, going to be talking about a little bit, we talk so much about LeBron's kid being great at basketball. What about D. Wade's? I think
forgot he had
kid.
children, I'll be honest.
Exactly. And apparently he's a baller. We'll let you know how much. And always interesting, LeVar Ball asked, hey, why does your son need to stay with the Lakers now that they got Rondo? His answer coming up next.
Welcome to the most introspective sports show you'll ever hear. Oh, wait. Kevin's doing it? Never mind. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
LeVar Ball is such a moron.
Yeah. He kind of just never lets himself be smart.
It's fun to watch, though. I'm going to say there is an entertainment factor with it, and I really was looking forward to what his comments were going to be because it seems like the clock is ticking. Everybody's expecting his son to get traded from the Lakers for several reasons. One, because he's not a fantastic shooter. Mm-hmm. Two, because Rajon Rondo has just come in and plays the same position.
That's
so
true.
Why do you need him? And the conflict that's gone on and the fact that LeBron James is probably not going to come in and put up with LeVar Ball's crap and how much stuff he's talking, the fact that they already have a past.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's understandable. It really is because you think about LeBron doesn't deal with anybody's crap. Mm-hmm. And that guy is just like he's by the wheelbarrow full.
Oh, absolutely.
It's incredible.
But he's still there. And so he was asked in a CNN interview about the status of he and LeBron James. Here's what LeVar Ball had to say.
Me and LeBron get along. He come off the court. I'm going to say, hey, LeBron, what's going on, man? Everything lines up for me. And it's so lucky that my son gets to play with his favorite player. Wait till my other boys get to come in that way. Uh-oh. You don't want LeBron and the ball boys.
Oh, boy. the
ball boys.
That might be his position, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's my favorite part because it's like, oh, is that a little bit of foreshadowing?
I did like the stammering on this because he was asked, okay, hey, Rajon Rondo is in there and same position. Mm-hmm. Where is your kid really fitting into this whole mix? Like, you've got the mouth. He doesn't seem to necessarily have the chops to do a lot to round out this team to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Why would we keep him? Here's what he said.
I don't mean nothing. Just got another teammate.
You're not worried about competition?
That's all. A little backup. That's good. Man, I'll never worry about competition because I know my boys are better than that.
So he just called Rondo the backup for his son.
Yeah. Well, see, now this is the thing. This is how you know it's slow time in sports. The headlines for everything is that LeVar Ball calls Rondo, in quotes, little backup.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's completely taken out of context
right.
because he
just
calls him a little backup.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to have a little backup.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually call him little. It's just a little backup. So that's blown out of proportion. And the other thing
but
is
the
that
key is he is calling him backup. Meaning, okay, like you're coming off the bench and when my kid needs a breather, then you can come in.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, that's where he's completely crazy. Because to think that Lonzo Ball would start over Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's won a championship before on his own accord. Yeah. Rondo with the Celtics was absolutely incredible. I don't understand where he's coming from.
The fact that Lonzo Ball's still there, is that telling you something about what Magic is doing right now, trying to wheel some pieces?
I personally think they're going to have a hard time getting rid of him. What team's going to say yes to taking LeVar?
Well, he's also got that meniscus issue that conventionally was
just all of a sudden, he's got a broken blockbuster card.
But could it be if they are, say, and maybe Kawhi were, maybe you got something going on with Carmelo now. So if that is it, are they holding on to Lonzo Ball, just saying, okay, we're trying to figure out, we're shopping him around, see who's going to take him, who's going to bite. But you don't think anybody's going to bite, and he's not a valuable trade piece at all.
Not necessarily that. I think they're going to have a hard time because you're going to have to. It's like when the Dolphins let go of who was the cornerback with the wife that was the big mouth for the Dolphins?
Grimes.
Yeah, Brent Grimes. So Brent Grimes had a hard time getting a job after he was let go because of his wife. It wasn't because of him, because he played well with the Dolphins.
Because what you're saying is when you get Zoe, you're not getting necessarily the world's best
getting
player,
the whole
and
thing.
You're getting his dad.
You're getting big baller brand, baby.
Right.
That's what you're getting. You're getting that.
Headaches.
Massive.
And not enough payoff for the headaches you're going to get.
Well, exactly. But you know what, though? To a point, it's like if I owned a basketball team, I would say, yes, I will trade for him. But if I owned these basketball teams, Denver, Utah, Minnesota, I would take that. Because you know what? It would bring a face to the team. It'll put butts in seats, and it'll put our name of our team in everybody's mouths. Because as soon as you talk, if I was in Minnesota and Lonzo Ball got traded to Minnesota, I mean, hell.
Curiosity.
That might not be a bad trade. Jimmy Butler, you want to leave? Let's go to L.A. We'll send you to Minnesota. And then now LeVar's in Minnesota. He has no choice.
He said LeVar's in Minnesota.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I mean, like Minnesota will be like whacked out with him.
Right.
But he'll have to do something in order to be able to elevate his, because that's what he's doing. He's a brand builder. He had to elevate his brand. So everybody's going to be talking about LeVar Ball in Minnesota or Utah. You know, I think that actually could be kind of smart, and that's maybe the reason why they're taking so long. They're trying to sell that angle.
Okay. Here's what LeVar has to say about his son staying with the Lakers and them winning championships.
LeBron signed for 4 years. So guess what? We got to win 4 championships.
Whoa.
But if we don't win 4 championships, we should at least get 2.
He's so stupid.
We should win 4 championships, but, just in case, we might get 2. But just in case not 2, like maybe 1. But if not 1, like we'll win we'll win like 80 games.
We've had a lot of talk about LeBron's kid, Bronny, and, he's...
Is that his actual name?
Yeah, well, it's LeBron Jr., and they they call him Bronny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to anybody's children.
Yeah. Oh, why would you? It's
I don't
weird
care.
and
Yeah,
creepy.
it's their lives.
Yeah.
I look at them, just play basketball. Outside of that, I don't care if you sleep in a box.
Well, I didn't realize this, I guess. It matches up. LeBron's kid and D. Wade's kid, both 16.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Zaire is Dwayne Wade's kid. And he's heading into his junior year of high school. So he's the same age as LeBron's kid. That'd be kind of really weird to get those kids on the same team.
Imagine if LeBron
That'd be
and
crazy.
Dwayne Wade's kid were both playing on the Heat.
That'd be
what?
what?
How old is Chris Bosh's kid? I
Don't
couldn't
know.
even say that. Chris
I
Bosh.
don't think, Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh.
There's a report out that he wants to he's ready to play for the Lakers, but he can't get.
He still can't get clear. He said
get
apparently,
cleared.
yeah.
But he's like, I want to be a Laker. But
Yeah, but
imagine if he managed to get cleared for this.
where would he? I mean, he's been out, what, 2 years? It's been 2 years since he's played, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
That'd
don't
be
know.
a tough transition back in, I tell you that.
Yeah, that's what I think, too.
He's just been watching Golden State. He ain't been playing them.
The other night, on Tuesday, I think it was, D. Wade's kid was matching up. In fact, Hassan Whiteside was out there. They're at some local gym. It was the Miami Pro League. You had Andre Drummond was out there. Hassan Whiteside was out there. And they had on the other side, Tim Hardaway Jr. was going up against D. Wade's kid. And D. Wade's kid put a move on Tim Hardaway Jr.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Not real great for the Knicks fans.
No, not really, no.
Yeah, but he's been getting
When
a little bit of hype.
13-year-old works you?
Yeah, been getting a little bit of hype over that. But I was kind of like looking. It was kind of fun because D. Wade was out there and he was like throwing it off the glass, and his kid was coming up behind him and dunking it. And I was
So wait, D. Wade's kid can dunk,
yeah,
but Bron's kid can't?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and they're same age.
Wow.
I'd love to see a one-on-one on that because, yeah, LeBron's like going, yeah, my goal would be to play in the NBA with my kid, but maybe D. Wade's kid is a little bit better on the skills.
That'll
Gosh,
make
how
it-
great would that be as a one-on-one?
That would make if they probably, because they're probably, obviously they're really close, stuff like that. It's like if LeBron winds up to stay playing,
Yeah.
and Dwayne Wade's kid is the one playing with LeBron, and they have family dinners together, that's gonna be really awkward.
Yeah,
you know
it would
what I
be
mean?
kind of awkward. Yeah, D. Wade's kid makes it, and Bronny's doesn't.
Bron's doesn't.
Yeah.
He's an
Uh-huh.
accountant.
Yeah. Not that anybody's watching what's going on with the G League right now, but remember Trey Young and how much hype was around the Oklahoma Sooner freshman that came out?
Oh,
he was
yeah.
selected 5th by the Mavs, and then they shipped him off to the Hawks. Apparently, he is just tanking in the Summer League in Utah. 3 games, and it's only 3, but he's 12 of 52 from the field, 3 of 22 from the three-point land.
Oh my lord!
And the only thing he's done of any kind of value is he got into a fight with Grayson Allen, who fights with everybody, the Duke kid.
yeah, that surprises me none.
Yeah, but yeah, they were hyping Trey Young so much. Like I said, it's 3 games. Let's
It's
not
not
get
a
ahead of
story.
ourselves, but still.
Well, this is the thing too. First of all, you're whipping these kids together. I mean, how long ago was the actual draft? It was like a month ago?
Yeah.
Not even?
Maybe.
So you put these kids, and then you just put them on a team and you say,
Yeah.
let's go play other teams. With
Let's go be
teammates
good.
they've never played with,
Yeah.
with other people they've never played against. I mean, when you play in basketball 90% of the time, especially with college, you have a lot of tape on these people. You know what I mean? Like you're watching games, everything like that. Because when it really matters for college basketball is when you get to the tournament. So as long as you make it to the tournament, you're fine. And then by that time, you have plenty of tape on everybody to be able to figure out how they play. You don't know how the hell any of these teams are going to play. It's tough.
I didn't pay a ton of attention to the NBA draft, but the one player that I saw more polarizing commentary about was Trey Young. Some people
Yeah.
saying, my gosh, he is the next thing, and then other people saying, this kid's garbage. He doesn't have the skills. There's no way.
Those people got to be on both
doesn't
sides.
have the size. Yeah, they do, but there was not one player that was in the draft that I heard more polarizing reviews about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know.
You're right. And it's 3 games.
Anthony Bennett, #1 overall pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers, played for UNLV, I believe. He
Yeah.
came in, he stunk up. I don't even think he's playing basketball right now.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
he was the #1 overall pick.
Never
I mean,
know,
it
man.
happens.
Yeah, never know. Talk about stinging it up.
Yeah.
Gosh, the Marlins, man.
That was
even for them.
That was really epic.
Even for them, this is just a monumental,
catastrophic,
disastrous fail. If you missed the headlines on it, we got it for you coming up next.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
Gotta say, for the Marlins, they've kind of been riding high. They've been doing pretty well here lately. I think they won their last 2 series. For them, turning things around. Now, still, they finally gotten up into the 400 percentage in the win totals.
They started getting too good for their own britches.
You knew something was going to happen, and then they go off to Washington to the Nationals, who are on a 5-game losing streak.
Yeah.
They got just rocked by the Red Sox. I mean, it's 4th of July, the nation's capital. It's all-American, and the Nationals can't beat the Red Sox. They just got embarrassed, in that entire series.
Yeah.
So here come the Marlins into town. They jump up. It's 9-0.
Yeah, I remember watching it and being like, holy crap, I can't believe this.
If you're playing Little League, you're 1 run away from a mercy rule. The game's almost over.
Wow.
It's 9-0. And then it just happened. The Nationals get 1 run, and after the game, their manager says, you know what? We just felt the momentum shift. Wait, you're down 8 runs. How little do you respect the team on the other side of the field? If you get 1 run, you're down 8, and you're like going, we've got the momentum. I feel this happening. Because you're still staring up a mountain. You're 8 runs down, and you're like, you know what? We got this, fellas.
Yeah.
We got it. It's 9-1. We got this.
That's true.
And they were right. A team that had dropped 17 of their previous 22 wound up coming back, and it all started with a grand slam.
Well hit to left. It's in the air, and see you later. First career grand slam, and look who's on top, 10-9.
Jeez.
It's unbelievable that it turned out that way. And first career grand slam. It was just like they had because they were obviously doing so bad, they had a team meeting just before the game.
Yeah,
they came out of that team meeting, Nationals. They came out of that team meeting, went right onto the field, and made this happen.
Well, they went right onto the field and then went down.
Stunk it up.
Well, you have a team meeting because it's so desperate. Things had not been going well, and you go down 9-0. You're going, that was a great team meeting, and then bam, this happens. So great for the Nationals, who just honestly, by the way, to own the Marlins. They've won 12 consecutive games going back to last season against the Marlins.
Yeah.
The Marlins are the Nationals' bitches.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. They definitely hold their pocket in this whole one.
It's their longest winning streak against any team since the franchise moved to Washington in 2005.
Wow, I didn't know that.
They own them. They just own them.
Jesus.
It's just kind of crazy. So, yeah, probably really great stuff for the Nationals for this weekend. How do the Marlins respond? This is just where
snipers, maybe. I don't understand. Like, I feel like they have to kill somebody in order to be able to make it more of a headline here. It's unbelievable. You got to feel really crappy.
Yeah,
really crappy at that point in time, especially if the losing pitcher, obviously too, because you let all those runs go up too, which is great.
Yeah, he admitted, he's like going, I had no control. It was garbage. The one guy they called up last Friday, Alcantara. He's on the DL already after 1 start. He's got an armpit infection.
What the hell is what?
He has yes, he has an armpit.
What happens in baseball?
What?
An armpit infection?
An armpit infection has put him on the DL after his first game in the majors.
Okay.
Right.
I've never heard of armpit infection before.
Armpit infection.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And there you go. Talking about having a bad day. I love the minor league calls. There's a dude sitting up in the booth. When you're in the minor leagues, you're not too far away from the field when you're in the press box.
No, you're right there for the most of minor leagues. There's some that are really nice, though. You never know.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right there. So a foul ball is something you got to dodge. Listen to this announcer calling the destruction of his own computer.
Righty on lefty. First pitch by Duval. Swing, and that's foul. Straight back.
Oh, boy.
Off my computer. Oh, my goodness. That just happened. So my computer is completely cracked. I tried to put my hand up and stop the baseball, and it went straight back, and now that one almost came back. And this just became one of the worst days I have had in quite some time.
The best part is at the end of the clip, he starts. He's still calling the game. He's like Welsh 2-0, and this really sucks.
Is this the computer that he's getting all of his stats and everything off of?
I'm assuming so.
Okay,
his
so
computer's
he's flying
there.
blind.
Yeah. Now he's like, well, I guess I got to use the iPhone.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's insane. You ever seen that show Brockmire on IFC?
No, I know
Azaria.
about yeah, he's fantastic.
The minor league baseball announcer. It is just one of the most incredible television shows I've ever watched.
Is it good? He's
It's
great.
So good.
Yeah, is it? Where's it air on?
IFC.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
in its second season right now, and it's based off of a Funny or Die clip where he drinks a bunch of alcohol and goes crazy inside the booth.
Yeah, he did a lot of press for that where he's like, he's
Yeah.
kind of mouthing off. He's a hammered,
But if you love clips like that, you have to watch this video because he is just a drunk idiot.
Yeah, he's a
entire time.
drunk and he's trying to work his way back up. Is that
He's trying
kind
to
of
work his way back. He was the announcer for the Cincinnati Reds, and he found out his wife was cheating on him. So he went back and he drank an entire bottle of whiskey and proceeded to call the game and talking about how his wife was cheating on him in very vulgar ways during the game.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
You remember, I don't know if you're old enough, but did you ever hear any of Harry Carey when he would call games for the Cubs?
Not live. I mean, I heard calls of them, but I mean, going back at like air checks and stuff
We'll
like
have
that,
to put together like some of the best stuff because you knew by the time
I knew them from Will Ferrell. That's the only reason I knew Harry Carey until I started watching baseball, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's what they're talking about.
I remember I would flip around and I would watch and I'd see a Cubs game. It was like maybe the second, third inning. I'm like, I'll go watch something else. You would come back, and if it were the 6th or 7th inning, you knew that Harry Carey was just getting warmed up, and he would get so plowed.
Yeah.
Some games, because
that's awesome.
He always, and I'm like, going, this is just fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
love
what kind
for the
of
game and just
right?
Because that's exactly what you're doing.
Right. He loved the Cubs. You're sitting there drinking. You feel like you're just drinking with your buddy. He's just commenting on it. I'm like, oh, that's the kind of stuff we need. That kind of announcing again. It's like they just were too uptight. I don't know what's happening in America, but we got to let it loose because we need more Harry Careys.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find that type. That's why Vince Scully did it for so long. That's why what's his name for the Marlins? The Yankees. John Sterling has been doing it for so long.
Yeah,
because John Sterling at this point in time, he's not a drunk, but you just feel like he's one of your buddies, and you can listen to him, and he's just like having a conversation with a friend. It's very odd.
Yeah, and baseball is unique in that. I mean, you don't necessarily have that in football. There's something about baseball, and it works. Yeah. It just works a lot better just listening to it.
Baseball is less corporate sounding than the NFL is, because the NFL is like you have your normal guys. I mean, obviously, when you listen to Monday Night Football, you know the same guys are going to be Sunday Night Football is going to be the same guys and everything like that, but when you listen to baseball, it's regional, it's proprietary, it's your guys. John Sterling's your guy, Vince Scully was your guy. Those are all things, and that's why with the Cubs it was Harry Carey.
Yeah, that was it. I remember growing up, like I think in every city had that guy. That's why to me, the Marlins have been this franchise where they've just blown people off.
Yeah,
and that's why the one thing they had that was so consistent was having Tommy Hutton calling games. And when they dumped on him, and I know they've tried to bring him back and a little bit of a role, but I'm like, that is the one thing that you've had consistently.
Yeah. I mean, it brings familiarity to the game, something that you can be able to relate to, and something that feels like as welcoming as home.
Right, exactly. And baseball's got to have that.
Yeah.
That's why
they called it the All-American sport.
Absolutely.
It was just like you were just it made you feel your own, like you got your own little piece of American pie.
Coming up this weekend, Lamar Jackson. It's going to be hanging out. You can actually hang with Lamar Jackson.
Really?
Before he becomes a big NFL star. Where exactly is he going to be? And an interesting move from an NFL star. It's kind of the role reversal of the hashtag #MeToo movement. Flipping the script. I'll tell you all about it coming up next.
Think Loria did a bad job? Wait till you hear this crap. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
I mean, when you really kind of break down Lamar Jackson and just what he did, some pretty impressive stuff for South Florida. He was just named yesterday the Atlantic Coast Conference's Male Athlete of the Year.
That's cool.
Nice little award with everything else he got. Last year, and I don't know what happened last year, why he didn't get more hype, But he still threw for 3,489 yards, 25 touchdowns. He ran for 1,561 yards and 17 touchdowns.
Jesus.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it seemed like even early on, he really wasn't in the Heisman discussion. Mm-hmm. Seriously. And I don't know if maybe it was because Baker Mayfield had that game against Ohio State and just seemed to, like, take the reins early on in the season. And, you know, Lamar Jackson was on a team that was struggling a little bit. And that's the one thing I do kind of hate about the Heisman. It is such a team award. And
it's not even that it's a team award. It's it's voted on by the writers and
but they look
favoritism.
At it, but you don't get players that have amazing seasons on mediocre teams winning this award. You look at the history of who has been winning the Heisman Trophy for the last 10 to 20 years, and they're on predominantly a team that is right up there for the national championship. If not, then they kind of get discredited and pretty quick. Because I guess maybe the sports writers think that if you're not taking your team to a national championship, that you're just maybe not that good in college. But his number's still off the charts.
But didn't Baker win one?
Well, Baker won one, but he had his team in the college football playoff.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, that's the stretch, is that if you don't have your team in the mix, and I think the mix meaning the Final Four in college football, I think it's going to be hard for these guys to win Heisman.
That's such crap, though.
But
I mean, it's the writers. I mean, this is the reason why there was a prominent radio host that had given up his Baseball Hall of Fame vote to Deadspin because he didn't believe in the way that it was being done. And it's because it's the same thing with this college football committee thing. It's just like you're just letting guys do this thing. I mean, there's obviously women on there too, but you're just letting people do this. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's like a few select people that can vote on it, and they're going to vote on what the better headline is for the most part.
But you're right, and if they don't have the vehicle of a team that's playing for a national championship, they're not as interested in that player that's still putting up amazing, phenomenal numbers.
Yeah.
Because
you're going to get bumped.
Yeah, you get bumped, and that's what happened to Lamar Jackson this last year. He's the first Palm Beach County player selected in the first round since Glade Central's Kelvin Benjamin with the Panthers in 2014.
Kelvin Benjamin's from Glade Central? I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely, from that long line of great players. And coming up on Saturday, tomorrow, and this is kind of an interesting mix. Just wonder what this night's going to be like and how this all went down. Lamar Jackson is going to be hanging out with you.
What?
At the Polish American Club of Fort Lauderdale tomorrow night from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Does this sound odd?
Yeah.
To you?
What are you going to do? Be hanging out eating pierogies?
And I was looking at the thing because I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. And he's not signing autographs.
He's just hanging out?
Is he
going to play Cards Against Humanity or something?
I don't know. Is he going to be there like eating kielbasa's?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is he going to be like bartending? Like, what is Lamar Jackson doing at the Polish American Club for? What is that? 5-6 hours?
Yeah, it's a long time. I don't understand it whatsoever.
He's chilling at the Polish American Club tomorrow night for 6 hours.
Just
doing what?
Just hanging out, man.
Just hanging out?
Just like live tweeting and stuff like that. And just ate another pierogi. Hashtag pierogi life.
I mean, this is a Heisman Trophy winner, a guy that's now signing the NFL. Who's his agent? Who's booking his gigs?
Exactly. Yeah,
Not to completely degrade the Polish American Club of Fort Lauderdale, because I'm sure it's a fantastic place.
I'm sure it's a great
I'm sure it's a ton of fun, but I have a feeling Lamar Jackson's not just going to be going, hey, can you book me there for... No, not 2 hours, 6.
Yeah,
I
really
want
into
6
it.
hours, and I want to go till 1 a.m. when they're really liquored up and can, just really be awful to deal with.
Polish American. What is the Polish American Club?
I have no idea, but I'm so fascinated. I want to find out what this night is going to be and just how disastrous it could be. Is he truly going to be there for 6 hours? Because that's what they're selling.
It sounds like that's like where the Knights of Columbus meet up.
Yeah, it does. Well,
I
know the Polish American Club of Palm Beach County, what they have there, and it's a lovely place.
What is it?
It's just a club. It's like what you would imagine. It's like a Kiwanis club. It's like a Moose club. It's like
we go to the croquet club thing.
It's like a place where older, middle-aged dudes or older go and get cheap beer, pretty much, and sit and just shoot the crap.
Interesting.
And that's where Lamar Jackson is going to be hanging 6 hours tomorrow night.
Maybe he just likes to sit down and talk about World War II. You never know.
I just want to find out how this came about. does he fully understand what he's getting himself into? What is this thing
He's
going to
like
be?
a Polish club. Sweet. He gets there and be like, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting like DJ Vincane to be here or something like that. No.
So if you want to
go
you've got
looking, Walter.
Right, yeah. Just going to be hanging out.
Walter and Herb.
Tell me, do you like this move? Garyon Conley, who was picked up and was a gamble when the Raiders did it, because coming out of Ohio State, Garyon Conley had an accusation of rape from a woman who said that he did this in a Cleveland hotel room. And they're like going, ooh, wait, do you want to pick up this guy in the draft? Now, he had a great career at Ohio State and was projected as one of the best at his position, but he saw his draft position go. He still was picked up number 24 by the Raiders in 2017, but I do remember other teams like going, it's a little toxic. I don't want to touch that. And he has been cleared of those charges, but it has cost him in endorsements, as you might imagine, because Nike's like, that's toxic. We don't want to touch that. So now Garyon Conley's turning around and suing the woman who charged him with the rape.
Wow.
Now, I don't know what you're going to get, and you definitely can't get Nike kind of money out of probably just a random woman that's accused you of rape in a Cleveland hotel room, but even just maybe to make a point and to stand up to this.
I think that's kind of what it is. I mean, you bring up a defamation lawsuit against this girl and just you go to the things and be like, listen, she lied. I mean, it's proven.
But would you not? If someone had falsely accused you of rape and you hadn't done it, would you not do the same thing?
Absolutely.
I would think so too.
Yeah, I think anybody right-minded would do that, because that kind of thing, you just throw that R word out there and it can destroy lives.
Oh, absolutely.
Regardless if it's true or not.
Well, and maybe if nothing else, if he goes and can win this, then maybe places like Nike and other big money places, maybe. But
he's going to go up to him and go, see,
but
she lied.
He is pointing out the biggest danger of the hashtag MeToo movement. For everything it's done and everything it's fantastic about, if somebody uses it the wrong way, and possibly this woman did, you can cost somebody millions of dollars in their reputation, which you can never get back. Garyon Conley, 5-10 years. How long do you have to play in the NFL? And there's not a lot of time where you can get that payday.
You're kind of screwed.
You're kind of screwed, and that really kind of sucks.
I mean, it makes sense for him to do it. I mean, if you have blood running through your veins, you should definitely go against that, because it's horrific, especially if she did lie.
Yeah.
And that's a side we don't talk about very often.
No.
That a lot of times that this could be false.
And it should. And honestly,
there's been so much that have not been false, it's like kind of hard to believe.
Right. But what can happen to you when you are accused of the hashtag MeToo?
Oh, your whole life's ruined.
Your whole life is ruined. And if you use that thing in the wrong way and you're just making up a charge because you want to attack somebody or become famous or try to get some money, it's a major shame on you.
Yeah, very much so.
And so if that is the case, it would be interesting to see what happens with that. Yeah. Hey, check out our show. We're on YouTube. You got the podcast as well. You can go find. And we're on Twitter, too. Go on there. Follow us. Just look for Kevin's Other Show.
You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach. A world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.